Christmas being something we celebrate. The Boston Tea Party took place in December, but also on December 7th, 1941, a horrific act happened in the United States, and it's one that President Roosevelt said, this is a date that will live in infamy. Today, December the 18th, 2019, is another date that will live in infamy.
Well, is he right?
What do you think?
Let's talk about it, y'all. Middle America. Well, that was a Republican on the floor talking about how impeaching Trump today would be basically the equivalent of Pearl Harbor, which resulted in literal deaths of American servicemen and women and catapulted us into World War II, which then ended with a nuclear bomb on two cities filled with innocent men, women, and children. This impeachment, he says, is at that level of national import. This whole Trump, I don't think there's ever been a time, we're pretty young, so, you know, I just don't think there's ever been a time when one person has made
so many people crazy. Like,
absolutely insane.
Yes. He really, really winds people right up.
Right-wingers and left-wingers alike are absolutely insane.
He's like the little brother that knows like the spots to poke, because he on purpose says things and tweets things and, you know what I mean, to like get people riled up, and honest to goodness, people react. I think he, you know, it's, to me, it seems like it's on purpose, and people are reacting exactly like he wants.
Yeah, Trump has successfully driven this entire country mad, and, you know, a person could argue that we were crazy to begin with. Et cetera, et cetera. But what a world we live in. I mean, unbelievable. You now look, if you're a right winger and you disagree that Trump should be impeached, sure. But I mean, to compare it to Pearl Harbor, which, like, remember, has national but global import as well. Some of these Republicans are absolutely out of their minds. Absolutely crazy. Look, we all knew this was going to happen. We knew that the House was going to vote for impeachment because Adam Schiff and the rest of the mafia over there on the DNC. We all saw what happened recently with Mr. Van Drew, where he was threatened to be primaried if he didn't fall in line with the impeachment nonsense.
Yep.
And so here we are. And so Jeff Van Drew actually had to defect to the Republican side because he dared to follow the orders of his constituency, which overwhelmingly did not want Trump impeached. Those are facts. Those are facts. This is absolute madness. The DNC... Let's look at the pattern of the DNC, okay? And I'm talking about prior to Trump. Here's the pattern of the DNC. Bernie is clearly the popular favorite. We know this. He's a populist candidate. Everybody loved Bernie in 2016. He was the leftist populist answer to Trump's right-wing populism. And we all know he would have defeated Trump at the electoral level easily. But what did the DNC do? The DNC, and we all saw this, this is open source now for the whole world to see, the DNC circumvented that process, stole the election from Bernie, and gave it to Hillary. That's one. Trump gets elected. Trump starts, he then replaces Antonin Scalia with Judge Kavanaugh. Now, Justice Kavanaugh. And then, wouldn't you know it, all these accusations came up against Justice Kavanaugh. 3 of the accusers have actually had to redact their statements. One of them said, I was just angry, made the whole thing up. Now, that doesn't mean that everything that he was accused of didn't happen, but it absolutely cast serious doubt on it. So the DNC didn't like Kavanaugh, so that's what they did. Then they went after Mr. Trump, and I'm going to play a clip from Rashida Tlaib. This is in 2016. before we heard any Ukrainian calls, before we heard anything about Russia and Putin, here's what we heard. Before the man, I believe this is before he even took his oath of office. Here's what we have.
And when your son looks at you and says, Mama, look, you won, bullies don't win. And I say, baby, they don't. Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the motherfucker.
Okay.
We're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the motherfucker. Okay. And so I'm supposed to believe that this was an objective action taken by the DNC. So then we had the Mueller report. And the Mueller report, and I kept hearing from what's the girl, Rachel Maddow, oh my gosh, Trump is over, the Russians are going to come and freeze us out with the polar vortex, we could all die in Fargo, all this craziness with 2 years, $25 million, and then we all saw the absolute and epic meltdown of Robert, that's outside of my purview, Mueller. We all saw it, we all know what it was. And during that exchange, we heard that a couple of the lawyers on Mueller's team were saying things like, Viva la resistance, about Trump. These are the people that are supposedly objective. We learned in the Mueller report that Mrs. Clinton employed Fusion GPS to work with Russians to actually dig up dirt on President Trump, which is literally
what they were accusing him.
What they were accusing Trump of. So all the silly, this is the thing that kills me about leftists. Look, now I shot this at a ad hoc video. Look, if you hate Trump and you say, I'm going to apply every Machiavellian tactic I can possibly use to defeat this guy because the economy is doing well, he has kept us out of war, basically. He pulled out the troops in Syria. He didn't launch that thing against the Iranians. He got a First Step Act for the black folks, and then the stuff with China where he finally had the cojones. Somebody had the cojones to stand up to China, where China had to blink a little bit.
Yep.
If you say, look, when we look at all that, there's no way in the world we can win in 2020. This is the best shot that we have. You know what? I would say you're playing a dangerous game, but I respect your honesty. What I cannot respect from the DNC and the sycophants on the left is this idea that you really care about the Constitution and the veracity of our republic. Stop doing that.
We can see through it.
You don't care. You let Hillary do all that bullshit with Bernie. And then, because Kavanaugh was somebody you didn't like, you just looked the other way when these women came out and said, yeah, we lied about that. I was just angry. You let all that stuff go down, and you didn't care about the veracity of our republic. Hillary Clinton did this is a crazy thing about what's happening with the left here, is that literally everything they accuse Trump of,
they've done.
They do it worse in spades.
Right.
So Hillary, Vox admitted it, I showed it on a multitude of occasions, Hillary Clinton herself authorized this move and actually met with Russian assets. The Steele dossier was complete BS. Comey knew it was complete BS. He let it go on anyway. We just saw that a couple days ago where Comey admitted that he was wrong about that, etc., etc. You didn't care. When we asked Mr. Mueller, well, what happened? How come you didn't look into that? Oh, it's outside of my purview. Okay, then you don't care about our democracy and the people trying to screw with our elections. You just don't want Trump in office. Fine. You don't like him? Fine. I wouldn't have Trump over for dinner. Okay? I get you don't like. Okay, fine.
I would.
He's not
very interesting conversation.
Yeah. He's not going to give us Medicare for all, so I'm out. I'm out on Trump. But fine. Just tell us the truth. Don't act like you care about our democracy. You don't. Stop it.
Yeah.
We're not stupid. Then the Mueller report disintegrated into ash, and then we had the Ukraine call, where Mr. Trump said, look into Biden. He's been bragging about withholding $1 billion. Biden came out literally, bragged about quid pro quo.
Yeah.
And literally, none of these righteous leftists, none of them are saying, hey, wait a second, we need to look into Biden. No, it's like, whoop, nobody knows.
Yep.
And then what they do is they say, You should not be looking into Biden. He could be running in 2020. I don't care if Biden's running into 20. So if he killed somebody, should he not be investigated because he? I'm sorry, Mr. Biden. We can't look into you or any corruption because or this murder charge because you're running. That absolves you. No, hello. If you're running for president, the scrutiny actually should increase.
Absolutely. And why does there need to be so much scrutiny? The man said it himself. He was bragging about it.
He was bragging about getting rid of a lawyer, a prosecutor who was looking into his son. And that prosecutor explicitly stated that under oath that he was terminated because of the Biden situation. Now, that guy, okay, supposedly he's corrupt, whatever. The fact of the matter is, Biden came out in full view of the public and said, this guy, I threatened him with $1 billion. That's quid pro quo.
It's $1 billion of our American money.
Sadat.
It's our tax money, right? That goes into that.
That is.
So it's like
it's not Obama.
That's not yours. That's ours. That belongs to the people.
We were not consulting.
So you're going to use that to go
consulting.
out there, to go out there and to do this foolishness with our money, and then you're gonna go after Trump for it. It's just the whole thing is just
Trump. It was half
God.
that price, and no quid pro quo happened. Sondland testified, and Sondland went back to Trump and said, "What do you want done?" And Trump literally said, I don't want him to do anything. No quid pro quo. I just want him to go with what he ran on. People say, well, why didn't he do it in 2017? Because Zelensky had just won, and Zelensky was running on a populist drain the swamp strategy that Trump had just won on. That's what happened. And Zelensky promised to go after corruption, and so Trump said, look into Biden.
I don't care when it happened. If Biden is that sort of a person where he's going to do that quid pro quo with our money, then I think that absolutely should come up. I don't care when it comes up. I don't want somebody that's corrupt like that running our country.
Right. So Sondland...
And listen, I know that everybody has corruption. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying,
Right.
We should turn the other way on this.
But again, if you really believed in holding up our democracy... Right?
Yeah.
Then you would be for that. You would be for looking into it.
Oh, absolutely.
Now here's the thing.
Wait. Secondly, the other thing that bothers me about it is that if, I understand that quid pro quo is not something that people should be doing, but if they did it for the benefit of the American people, then you could be like, well, okay. But he did it for his son. This is all about you. You used all of us for your personal interest.
That's the accusation.
I have a problem with that.
That's the accusation. Of course, he's going to deny that. Yada.
He said it himself. How can he deny anything?
Well, he said that he blackmailed the guy, and that wasn't even quid pro quo. That was just straight up extortion.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That was blackmail.
What do you mean how is he denying it?
What he's denying is the reason he did it. So his son was on the board of Burisma, and he's saying it had nothing to do with that. It was just because the guy was corrupt. Because if Trump's daughter was on the board of Burisma and Trump did the same thing to a tune of $1 billion, all the folks on the left would be saying, "Oh, okay,
right." It would be obvious. So obvious.
Here's Politico. In 2017, here's a screenshot.
Okay, what's Politico? Is this
Politico is a leftist? They're a leftist magazine. This is what they published in 2017. Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. Kiev officials are scrambling to make amends with the president-elect after quietly working to boost Clinton. Do you know what that means? That means that there was credible ideology or evidence that the Ukrainians were working on behalf of Clinton. You know, anytime that gets brought up now, people go, oh, it's such a conspiracy theory. Really? In 2017, Politico published it.
Yep.
Wrote an entire article about it.
What now?
What are you talking about? So in that milieu, Trump says, go look into this. Nothing wrong with that. Because he had just gotten out of the Mueller report. And all this stuff about Russia, and you had the Clintons and the DNC deploying all these people to come up with dirt and make stuff up about him, and so then he went after the Ukrainians with Zelensky, and there you go, 2017, it's right there for your reference. So Trump was completely within his rights. You know, people are saying, oh, he should have made the call. No, he's completely within his rights to say, there's corruption going on. We need to get to the bottom of it. And when Sondland asked him, what should we do? He said, I don't want anything, no quid pro quo.
Yep.
He literally said that. So then Sondland gets asked, and where did you get this idea that there was quid pro quo? And Sondland said, my mind. I'm supposed to remove a president because your mind?
Your mind? What is this world coming to?
What the hell is wrong with you people? Your mind, Sondland. Okay. And
He should have lied. He should have said something else.
You know what CNN did? They said this is damning. One of them called it an IED. This is an IED. Oh my gosh. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
My mind.
My mind. Okay. All right.
Okay, all right.
You will notice that this is President Poroshenko. This is not President Zelensky. Because the corruption happened under Poroshenko, and Zelensky was running as the anti-establishment guy in Ukraine. So you can laugh all you want and say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Sorry. You know what's funny? Even Politico now is calling this a conspiracy theory. As if they didn't publish 2 years ago this article.
What?
This is what happens. These people. They keep acting like we can't. It's 2019. We can see it all. We can see it all now. You can't just lie to us anymore. Good night. All right. So now so I'm supposed to believe you said you were going to impeach the mother effer before he was even sworn in. You have all this duplicitous BS that happened during the Mueller investigation, and it went to nothing. It went to ash. You went after Kavanaugh. That went to ash. You corruptly took Bernie out of there so that we could have Clinton. And now what happened is you did the wrong thing, and you're not going to have power in 2020. So this is the best that you can do. Those are the facts. This is what's happening. Okay. Well, here is. I haven't shown you this yet. This woman she's a U.S. senator. Listen to this.
Suppose he gets reelected, but you're right, and you win back the Senate in a big way. If you did that, would you be inclined to take a second bite of the apple and reintroduce the exact same impeachment articles and then send it through again a second time if you have a Democratic Senate on your side?
So, yes, but I don't think it would be exactly the same, and here's why. Because even though we're impeaching him, now, there's still a number of court cases. There's a ton of information that could come forward. For example, we could get his bank records and find out that he's owned 100% by the Russians. So you are absolutely right in your scenario, but the only thing I would say slightly different is that it might not be the same articles of impeachment, because the odds are we have a ton more information. And then the odds of that, sadly enough, is that, he probably has other examples of criminal behavior.
Okay, so what this woman just did is solidify a Republican Senate in 2020. Why? You know what these Republicans are going to do? They're going to play this on loop, and they're going to say, did you hear what this woman just said? If you give these crazy people the Senate, this is what they're going to do. They're going to do this BS all over again and try to find something else. Notice, she's still talking about Russia. I cannot believe it. And none of you are seeing the danger of this. Don't you understand what the Republicans are going to do with this? They're going to say, yo, these people had the House. We knew that the whole thing was BS. Everybody knows it's BS. Even people on the left. I do not believe that people really believe that phone call was QP. I don't believe it. It's just, we're going to do whatever we can to get this guy out of here. We all know that that's what this is about.
Yeah.
You know it, I know it. Okay, fine. Then this woman comes out and says, if he wins in 2020, we're going to do this shit again, and we might find out that he's in bed with the Russians. Because we've never given up on the Russians.
Somebody put in this post and they were like, I wonder what, if Trump wins, I wonder what conspiracy they're going to come out with next. I'm thinking, there's not going to be a new one. It's going to be Russia again. There's no question mark here.
Russia.
It's been Russia. It will always be Russia.
It was always you, babe. God almighty. Help us, Lord. Hello. understand how the Republicans are going to weaponize this? But here's my prediction right now. It's going to be a Republican House, Republican Senate, and Trump's going to win in a landslide. I'm calling it right now. You know why?
I've been saying that since
You
last...
just gave these people the fuel.
Yep.
You went through with this BS argument, and now he's, you know what, but it's this Pyrrhic victory. They're like, well, he's impeached. Now, I saw a couple folks on Facebook, people I love very dearly on Facebook. They're like, well, no matter what happens, he's been impeached. It's going to go down the record. Well, congratulations. You got your impeachment. You got your pound of flesh, and you just sacrificed the House and the Senate because these Republicans are going to play this up like mad. Mm-hmm. Here's what I'll leave you with, impeached people. Here is CNN. Here's CNN. This happened about 8:59 p.m. So this is extremely recent. They titled this thing a red flag, or red sirens are going off for Democrats is what the title of the thing is, right? Here it is, right? Here's the document. It says, before the House vote, so it talks about a Gallup poll, which shows two things happening since House Democrats, led by Speaker Nancy Pelosi of California, opened up a formal impeachment inquiry in October regarding Trump's conduct with Zelensky. This is CNN. Number one, read that.
Trump's job approval rating has gone from 39% to 45%.
6% jump. Read number two.
Number two, support for Trump's impeachment and removal has dipped from 52% to 46%.
This is CNN saying this today. Those results largely affirm other data out over the past week or so that suggests support for impeachment has dipped. In a CNN national poll released earlier this week, 45% said they supported the impeachment and removal of the president, down from 50%, who said the same in mid-November in a mid-November CNN survey. The same poll showed opposition to impeachment and removal at 46%, up 4 points from mid-November. And a CNN poll of polls, an average of all six most recent quality credible national polling conducted between December 4 and December 15 showed 46% favored impeachment and removal as compared to 49% who did not.
Well,
CNN is saying this. So look, okay.
It's not working for you.
You got your emotional victory. Sadat, congratulations. Mazel tov, mashallah, whatever you want to say. Congratulations. He's officially impeached. It's going to go down in the record books. And you have just now sacrificed the House, the Senate, and any hope of Medicare for all because you didn't like a guy, because the DNC, who are your true enemies. See, here's the thing. The DNC has you people believing that Trump is your enemy. Trump is not your enemy. Your real enemy is the DNC, who is propping up Joe 330 Biden. I had a friend yesterday tell me, well, hey, man, Sanders and Biden are neck and neck. They shouldn't be neck and neck.
No.
Have you ever met a human being that wants Joe Biden to be president of the United States? They shouldn't be neck and neck.
No.
This is the DNC trying to position another establishment Democrat to steal from you any hope of any real progress in the United States of America. That's what is happening. And they have made Trump the boogeyman so that they can suspend your intellectual powers from the real problem. The real problem is the DNC. That's the real problem. They gave us Hillary 4 years ago, and they're giving us Biden this year. And I swear to God, wallahi, if Joe Biden is the nominee, I am not voting, period. You're going to vote for Trump, astaghfirullah, God forgive you. But I'm not voting for freaking Joe Biden. I don't care if you had Beelzebub or Nikolai Carpathia up on the other side. I'm not voting for Joe Biden, period. So there you go. Congratulations. Great day in American history. It's not Pearl Harbor. This is actually a great day for Republicans. You watch and see if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Anyway, I gotta go pick up my salmon. I gotta pick up my salmon dinner. Love your neighbor.
Take care of each other.
Middle America.
We are the media.
Till next time, guys.